Hereby call the Iberia Parish Council meeting, the meeting of January 8th, 2020. It is now 6 o'clock. We'll have a prayer with Mr. Macharan.
We'll do the Lord's Prayer.
Who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Mr. Gonsalas, a pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Tommy Pollard, Michael Landry,
Here.
Tommy Landry, Lloyd Brown, Warren Goshasang, Natalie Broussard,
Here.
Paul Landry,
Here.
Ricky Gonsalas,
Here.
Joe Dugas,
Here.
Eugene Olivier,
Here.
Brian Napier,
Here.
Berwick Francis, Marty Trahan,
Here.
Chad Macharan.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. We'll go on to public comments. The policy allows for 3 minutes per person. I'm looking for a motion and a second to go into public session. I have a motion by Mr. Brown, a second by Mr. Gonsalas. Roll call. Brian. Okay, that motion passes. We're now in public comments. Item number 1, comments from the general public on non-agenda items, and we don't have anything. Item number 2, comments from the general public on agenda items. Is there anyone in the public who would like to make a comment on any of the agenda items? Seeing none, do we have a Mr. Roland Clark here? Okay, so seeing none, I'll look for a motion and a second to go back into regular session. I have a motion by Mr. Brown, a second by Mr. Macharan. Roll call. We're now back in regular session. Reports, Finance, and Administration. Item number 1, balance sheet for November 2019 is on request. Item number 2, budget report for November 2019 on request. Reports, parish and other governmental agencies, we have none. Public Works report, item number 1. Public Works Department report for closed work orders dated December 2nd to 6th and 9 to 13, 2019 is in your packet. Item number 2, Public Works Department report for open work orders dated December 17, 2019 is in your packet. Special business, they have none. Next up, council member announcements. Any of the councilmen have any announcements? Mr. Napier.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn. I know I do sometimes, but I didn't see anything on the agenda or anything, but I think tonight is the last meeting for a few of our compadres, and I just wanted to take the time to Mr. Ricky Gonsalas, Mr. Joe Dugas, Mr. Berwick Francis, who's not here, Mr. Tommy Landry, who won't be, that this will be the last meeting. I just want to say, me personally, guys, I have really, it's been a pleasure. I know we fought sometimes, and but it's been a learning experience, and at least with y'all two guys that are here tonight, I've learned a lot with y'all, and I've made some, I think I've made 2 friends that's gonna go past this night here, and I thank y'all for y'all service to this parish, and I'm gonna miss y'all. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, next up, we have Michael Landry.
I want to kind of double up on what Brian said. For all four of y'all, y'all really helped me when I came aboard. I appreciate it, and I got y'all on speed dial in case I need y'all. Also, just to pass on, I've been chosen as the Martin Luther King Award recipient for our church, St. Edward's Church. I think on the 18th and 19th, they're going to be celebrating at St. Edward's at the diocese, at the cathedral the Friday, and the Saturday at St. Edward's Church. Y'all all invited at after 4 o'clock Mass. So, there you go. Thank you.
Next up, we have Mr. Gonsalas.
Well, look, guys, I really appreciate the comments, and yeah, it is our last meeting, and I will say I'm very humbled to have served 8 years on this parish council. I would like to think that I, not only myself, but my colleagues on this council and previous councils made a difference in Iberia Parish, and I'm proud to say I was part of those two teams. I will say this, that, I encourage each and every one of you not to get too comfortable, because as soon as we get comfortable, progress ceases to happen in anything you do. And I'd like to encourage you to stay uncomfortable, because it makes you make tough decisions. And all you guys are faced with tough decisions in the future. There's nothing easy about being in politics. It's not a glory job. And you're gonna get ridiculed, you're gonna get complimented all the way through it, but take it with a grain of salt. But always remember that your constituents are first. Hear the voice of your constituents, make the best decision based on your constituents and based on Iberia Parish as a whole. Don't be self-centered. And I want to thank each and every one for all the support I've gotten, and I really appreciate it and look forward. And moving forward, I will tell you this, my political career is not ended. I will be somewhere in the near future in a leadership role, hopefully, and I'm looking to seek that opportunity. So thank you again.
Okay, next up, we have Mr. Gashasam.
I don't know how much more I can say, Mr. Chairman. It's basically all said. I mean, I want to say I like Brian's shirt tonight and be rooting for LSU, but just to kind of echo exactly what every one of them said, I mean, each of those gentlemen have played a very vital role up here. So a lot of times we didn't agree on things, but we left in the chambers as friends, and I think that's what's part of a good government that we've been able to provide here, is that, we agree to disagree and we walk on. But Ricky, thank you, man. I mean, when I came here, it was a learning curve for me, and well as others, to look up to leaderships like you and Mr. Brown, and several had come here. That Mr. Brown's the dean, so it's kind of he gives you that insight that sometimes you wouldn't have gotten from other people. But it's been a real pleasure to work with you, Joe. Same way, man. A lot of times, sometimes they say the loudest mouth gets the most attention. But it's sometimes you would lean over and make a couple of things that I didn't see, and we'd learn from each other. I appreciate that, Burke, the same way, and Mr. Landry, Tommy Landry. It's just been a pleasure, and like I said, I think at some point in time everyone should serve their government, whether it's in the military or within the government itself. So thank you for your service, gentlemen, and I got all of you guys on speed dial. I'll be calling shortly. Thanks, guys.
Okay, next up, we have Ms. Broussard.
Well, Ricky, I'm glad to hear that your political career is not over, because as you were saying, for us not to get comfortable and keep up the work, my message to y'all was going to be, I want to keep working with y'all, and just because we're not going to be working on the council together for the next 4 years doesn't mean that we can't still work together to serve our community. So I look forward to working with y'all in the future, and I'll give y'all an opportunity right now to do that. For everybody who participated in Noel Iberia, I just want to thank y'all for participating in Noel Iberia. As I said before, that was just the first initiative of Better Days on the Bayou. The second initiative to Better Days on the Bayou is what we are calling Fate Iberia, which means celebrate or party, and that's going to be our Mardi Gras initiative. So just like we try to decorate the parish with Christmas decorations, I'm encouraging, challenging, asking, begging all of you to participate with me, pick an area in your district, and put up some Mardi Gras decorations, and let's really welcome the members of our community and the members that will be visiting our community into our community for the Mardi Gras celebration season. Our Mardi Gras parade is on January 25th, so we would be asking everybody to have their decorations up by January 25th. If you're going to pick a location in your district to do it, please let me know where you're going to do it so that we can publicize it for everybody to go out and see. I got a lot of great feedback from going to the different displays that were on for Christmas, so I look forward to seeing how creative y'all can be for Mardi Gras. I know Mr. Eugene and Chad in particular got a lot of members of their district involved, and it's a great way to bring in the spirit and bring in unity with the district and connect you to the members of your district if you're bringing in the members to help you. So that's a great way to bring our community together. So thank you for participating in Noel Iberia, and I hope you participate in Fate Iberia. I'd also like to announce that the Iberia Mental Health Initiative is having another program. This is a free program. It's going to be to learn the techniques of deep listening. It's going to be January 22nd at 6 p.m. in the main library, the large meeting room on Main Street, and the speaker is Diane Kirksey. So like everybody to participate in that with all the conflict going on in the world right now. Learning techniques of deep listening can only benefit each and every one of us. So this is open to the public, not just members of the council. So if you are available Wednesday, January 22nd at 6 p.m., that's an initiative being put on by Iberia Mental Health. Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have Mr. Dugas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am humbly appreciate all the comments y'all made tonight, and I've served as a public servant for the last 14 years, and would encourage anybody to get involved, and it's an experience that everybody needs to know about. I have two granddaughters who are I'm going to be spending a whole lot more time with, and I'm looking forward to that. We will not, District 9 will not lose any speed with Scott Ronsonet coming in. He's a guy of good character, and he'll do well in this position. And I have y'all phone numbers in my phone too, because I'll probably need more than y'all do. So, thank you.
Next up, we have Mr. Olivier.
I'd like to echo a lot of the things everybody else said about the outgoing council members. I'd like to thank you for all your sacrifices. I know it's a big sacrifice sometimes serving on this council and dealing with the general public, but it's a challenge that I know that you were willing to take on, and y'all did a great job doing so. So good luck to y'all and whatever y'all plans are, and please stay in touch. Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have Mr. Francis.
All right, I'm sorry I'm late, for one. Had a JV game, but I think that I learned a lot in these 4 years along with you guys, and unfortunately I won't be back, but I think that we did a great job as a council and administration, and you know, I got to know a lot of good people. Everyone represented their district real well, you know, and I'm gonna miss a lot of you guys, and I have y'all contacts like Joel said, you know, especially my bud here from Generette, you know. But I wish, you know,
Vote together tonight.
right. But I wish you all well, and you know, and I wish the continued success. I will stay involved and do what I can to help the parish keep going forward, and I think that we're gonna stay on beat with District 12 with Ms. Brown, who will be sitting in this seat. I think she'll do a great job. So y'all help out with Generette, and thank you for serving with you guys, you know. All right.
Thank you. Next up, we have Mr. Brown.
Yeah,
Mr. Brown.
look, it always said, I just want to say this, that I learned a lot from y'all also. So just don't worry. I'll be calling y'all too. So, good, and I enjoy working with each one of y'all.
Well, you know, I want to thank all of y'all. I always said that we were a band of brother with a sister. I meant that. I really liked every one of y'all, and we did have some heated times, but it was tough. You know, we had a new administration. They were learning along the way, and it's good that we're working very well with them. With Ricky being chairman, I know what you went through that first year, and you did good leadership. You brought us along, and we were better for that. So thank you for everything. Seeing no further comments, we'll move on to parish president announcements. Mr. Richard.
With the remarks about the parish council. These 4 years have been a very good 4 years. We had a lot of progress, I think, in Iberia Parish. Of course, we all know that we have had and have, and will continue to have in the near future concerns when it comes to revenue and things of that nature. I think the parish council did a very good job at trying to stay focused on moving this parish forward with the dollars that we have. And each and every one of you brought major value to this administration, all different value, but everything was major, because every person that I talk to in the parish council add value to the decisions that we make in Iberia Parish trying to move this parish forward. And we're going to miss all of you. But like all of you said, you're going to stay involved. So with that said, we're going to continue to progress with the parish. Moving on to parish president reports from Public Works for the last 2 weeks. We did culvert inspections in District 9 and District 14. We picked up debris throughout the parish. We had roadside drainage work done in District 3, District 9, 10, 13, and 14. We had some grading road. We graded some roads in District 12 and 14. We did road patching in District 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, and 14. We did some front ditch side booming in various districts and shoulder work in District 6 and District 8. We, before I get too far, I would like all of you to just, at some point in time, it don't have to be now, but just have a moment of silence for all of our troops that's out here. We have a very, very, very serious things going on right now. And all of you know I'm ex-military, and talked to several veterans over the last several days. We have a lot going on. I had the opportunity last night to talk to Senator Kennedy and also Congressman Higgins. And the only thing I'm going to tell you is that please keep your troops close to you and pray for them, because we're at a time right now where we need big prayers. We have a lot going on. I'm going to be swearing in along with the parish council on Monday. I'm going to swear in at 11:30 right here on the second floor in courtroom A, the main courtroom. After I swear in, we're going to go into the Slyman, at the Slyman Theater, and we're going to have a ceremony there. So all of you are invited to attend if you want to. And I think the council is going to start a swearing in right
Correct.
after.
Right after you.
Okay. Well, that's it for my report. Thank you so much, and let's move on with our business.
We're going to do the swear and then we'll take the pictures.
Swearing in.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Courtroom A, the main courtroom. Thank you.
Just as an add-on to that, we will take the pictures, though, for the wall and everything at 5 o'clock on January 22nd, so that we'll have everybody. If Mike don't make this pictures, his grandkids will think that he's lying, he was on the council. Okay, moving on to consent agenda items for public hearing and adoption. Minutes, regular minutes, meeting of December 18, 2019. Summary number 1, introduced by Paul G. Landry, a resolution of condolences to the family of Mr. Blaine Mesh, former Iberia Parish Recreation and Playground Executive Director, who passed away on December 21st, 2019. Summary number 2, introduced by Natalie Broussard, a resolution of condolence to the family of Mrs. Edna Bienvenue Landry, mother of Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry, who passed away on December 29th, 2019. Is there any other items on this agenda that anyone would like to have removed? Seeing none, I ask for a motion and a second. I have a motion by Ms. Broussard, a second by Mr. Olivier. Roll call. Those motion passes. Ordinances introduced for public hearing and adoption. Summary number 5044, introduced by Zoning Commission, an ordinance approving the reclassification request for the property of Joseph A. Montgomery Jr., 100 block of Central Avenue, located generally south of East Old Spanish Trail, Louisiana Highway 182, and east of Central Avenue, the particular parcel being rezoned from R4 manufactured mobile home park to R3 multifamily located in District 11, all to be reviewed and recommended by the Iberia Parish Zoning Commission. I have a motion by Mr. Napier, a second by Mr. Trahan. Mr. Napier.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Scott, you representing the zoning right now? You wearing that hat?
Yeah, and a whole bunch of others.
So look, I read up on it, and obviously everything it's okay. 'Cause it sounds like he wants to go from trailers to maybe in the future duplexes.
I can read the whole thing to you if you want.
Go ahead.
This is a request to reclassify .67 acres of property from R4, which is manufactured mobile home parks, to an R3 multifamily zone that's been made. The applicant at some point in the future is proposing to construct duplexes on the lot. The current zoning of R4 does not allow for this type of use, so the applicant has requested to have the property rezoned to R3. The staff has recommended that the request be granted since the property to the west and east of the subject property is zoned I1, which is light industrial. The property to the north was recently rezoned to C2, which is general business, and the property to the south is zoned R4, manufactured mobile home park. The zoning commission at its November 14th meeting approved the motion to recommend to the parish council that the property be rezoned from R4 to R3. So they fully support.
So everything's good, no complaints around it?
Only one person spoke in support of it, and there was no opposition to it at all.
Okay. If that's all good for me, so I'm good, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to hear it from,
Get used to hearing his voice.
I don't want to hear Scott's voice. Yeah.
Okay. So we have a motion and we have a second with Mr. Trahan. No further discussion. Roll call. That motion passes. Resolutions introduced for public hearing and adoption. Summary number 219, introduced by the clerk of the council. A resolution appointing Mr. Roland Clark to the Lydia Veterans Memorial Building Board for a 5-year term to fill the vacancy created by the expiration of term of Mr. Roland Clark, whose term expires March 22nd, 2020. Note, this was tabled from the December 18th, 2019 Iberia Parish Council meeting. Before I take the motion and a second, we still haven't had Mr. Clark come, so we'll probably need to go with a table. I have a motion by Ms. Broussard, a second by Mr. Olivier. Ms. Broussard.
Yeah, I'd move to table it to the January 22nd meeting.
Okay, Mr. Olivier? Okay, so we have a substitute motion to table, summary number 219. Roll call. That motion passes. Summary number 3, introduced by Brian Napier, District 11, a resolution authorizing a permanent change in the polling place location for District 11, Precinct 4, from CNI Sewage District Plant 200 Parker Street to the Morbraham Recreation Center 202 Camp Knighton Road, effective immediately, and all is requested by the clerk of court and the register of voters. I have a motion by Mr. Napier, a second by Ms. Broussard. Mr. Napier.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Yeah, Mr. Ditch and Ms. Blanchett both had gotten in touch with me and talked about moving this, I think they're trying to consolidate some of the polling places. So just for the record, it was nothing more than that, trying to get down to, I guess, less polling places. Maybe there wasn't a whole lot of activity there, so to move it. So I'm good with that, and hopefully everybody else is, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay, next up, Ms. Broussard. Okay, no further discussion. Roll call. The motion passes. Summary number 4, introduced by the parish president, a resolution authorizing the execution of the system survey compliance questionnaire for financial audit for fiscal year ending December 31st. I have a motion by Ms. Broussard, a second by Michael Landry. Ms. Broussard.
Waive.
Michael Landry.
Waive.
No further discussion. Roll call. And motion passes. Summary number 5, introduced by the clerk of the council, a resolution authorizing travel expenses for newly elected members of Iberia Parish Council who have not previously served on the council to attend the Police Jury Association's newly elected officials orientation to be held on January 16th, 2020 in Baton Rouge at an approximate cost of $191.81 per attendees. Note, the motion and second to suspend the rules of 10 votes will be needed prior to the vote on this item, as it was not reviewed by the Finance Committee. So at this point, I'm looking for a motion to suspend the rules. I have a motion by Mr. Brown, a second by Michael Landry. Mr. Brown?
I make a motion to suspend the rules.
Okay. Mr. Landry? Okay, so we'll be voting at this point to suspend the rules. Roll call. That motion passes. Now we'll be looking for a motion and a second on summary 5. I have a motion by Michael Landry, a second by Mr. Trahan. Michael Landry?
I'll wait.
Okay, Mr. Trahan. Okay. Mr. Napier?
So, just for the record, because normally I haven't been supporting travel and all. But for this, for the new ones to go, I think it's important that they get off on the right foot, and if they want to attend, it does include a little meal. I think some money for the meal and some money for travel, so much a mile and all. So I just don't want nobody to think that I'm changing my ways in 2020. But for this one, I'm gonna support you guys going out and getting ahead of the game. So for the record, I'm gonna support it.
Okay. Maybe we'll
Go Tigers.
Maybe we ought to take a break for a minute. Next up, we have Mr. Gashasam. Mr. Gashasam.
Just to echo the same thing you said, Mr. Chairman. I'm voting to, I think the first time we went, it was paid for, and I think that the same thing should happen with the Newies, so I'll support it also.
Okay.
It's a new year. Still broke, though.
Any further discussion?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Napier, maybe they'll let you ride with them since we're paying for their gas.
You see, I took y'all,
And you
Still broke.
And you almost killed us.
and I almost killed y'all, but we didn't.
Nope. Yeah.
Okay, no further discussion. Roll call. That motion passes. Before we go to adjournment, we do have an expansion, so we're going to go with that. Let's see. Discuss and consider a motion to expand the agenda to discuss and consider the following items. Summary number 6, introduced by the parish president, a resolution of condolences to the family of Ms. Sharon Broussard Landry, wife of Louisiana State Representative Terry C. Landry Sr., who passed away on January 2nd, 2020. The purpose of the expansion to express condolences to the family of Mrs. Sharon Broussard Landry, wife of Louisiana State Representative Terry C. Landry Sr., who passed away on January 2nd, 2020. I need a motion to go into public hearing. I have a motion by Mr. Gashassan, a second by Michael Landry. Mr. Gashassan? Michael Landry? No further discussion. Roll call. That motion passes. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to make any comments on the expansion item? Seeing none, I'll be looking for a motion and a second to go back into regular session. I have a motion by Ms. Broussard, a second by Mr. Trahan. Ms. Broussard?
Wait.
Trahan? Roll call. That motion passes. We are now back in regular session. Now we'll be looking for a motion and a second to expand the agenda. Just as a side note, it'll take all 14 of us to pass this. I have a motion by Ms. Broussard, a second by Michael Landry. Ms. Broussard?
Wait.
Michael Landry? No further discussion. Roll call. Okay, that motion passed. We're now going to have a motion and a vote on the summary. I have a motion by Michael Landry, a second by Mr. Gonsalas. Michael Landry? Mr. Gonsalas? Before we vote on this, I would like to also let the audience and some of the members know that that is Mr. Michael Landry's sister-in-law. So we have a motion by... Okay, we have Mr. Gonsalas requesting a unanimous second. Roll call. Mike, go ahead.
Just to let everyone know, Sharon fought cancer for 10 years, and she was a fighter, and it finally got to her. And I think most everyone know Terry, and he done what he could for us. Whenever we asked him, he done as much as he could. So I think he really would appreciate that, and his kids, and the Landry family in particular. So thank y'all.
Okay. Roll call. Okay. And just one comment before we go on to committee. I guess most of the council noticed that we had to swipe our cards to get in the building tonight. So whoever's card didn't work, we need to get it in contact with Darryl, and he will go ahead and fix us up with that. At this point, I'm going to roll right into the,
Chairman, before we do that, you said that, just got a question. I think our cards say January 10th to expire. Do you, are we going to receive another one shortly, or?
Yes.
but if your card didn't work, we'll just go ahead and get in contact with Mr. Darrell, and we'll go. Okay. Next up, we have Ms. Broussard. Ms. Broussard.
Larry and Scott, just a question about the security. Have we moved to locking all doors all the time, other than the front door? That starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so our question is, if, I understand that security's down there to let the general public in till 6:30. What happens if someone's trying to attend a council meeting that gets here after
Stay down
6:30?
there until the council meeting is over.
There's gonna be someone there till the meeting's over? Okay, because they had told me it's 6:30, so,
They'll be down there.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I hereby
In fact,
call
there's
the...
security right here.
Okay. I need a motion and a second to adjourn council. I have a motion by Ms. Broussard, a second by Mr. Mathurin. Roll call. Okay, that motion passes. I hereby call the joint committee.